Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This time we're doing a vegan jerky recipe. I'm gonna cook it. I spent an entire day cooking it. It took me like 12 hours to cook this recipe. I did 6 versions of that, so if you want to just make one, probably won't take 12 hours to do. But I did six of them. So you can see here I start out by I got a messy kitchen to start, but I did one recipe of the mix and I heat it up to boiling. It takes a lot of mixing because you got like a gallon of, well, not quite a gallon, like a 3/4 gallon of liquid, and then like a solid cup of all this powder, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, all that stuff. So you got a lot of stuff to mix in there. And I videoed this thing at super high speed, so you'll get to see the whole process. But I had to make so much because I did, well, there's my super hot chilies from Colorado that I brought over, dehydrated super hots. But I did a 12-pound box of the soy curls. And the 12-pound box of the soy curls requires a whole bunch of those, the liquid, to saturate everything. So you can see here, there's the 12-pound box, giant box of soy curls. It's so much cheaper to buy the big box of it though than to buy the little packs that and plus I eat a lot of it, so 12-pound box of that isn't outrageous for me. And people love it, so I probably eat 3/4 of it. The other quarter is given away to people. So here I'm mixing up another batch while I'm cooking the other batch. It's just a constant movement and rotation of mixing, soaking, cooking. But I'm getting ready to put in the first batch into the oven. You can see it's in the little red thing covered there, the soaking soy curls. Get to that. Pull that stuff out of there. Oh, he's still mixing up this stuff. There he goes. Now he's starting to pull it out of the red thing, taking them out, putting them in that pan, draining them off a little bit. Let them sit for a couple minutes, and then he's going to put them in the oven and get them started. It takes about 30 minutes per batch in the oven. And I ended up doing a lot more batches this time due to a super bottleneck expander that I found. Before, this would have took me, I don't know, 17 hours to do as much as I did. And I was able to do it in 12 hours due to the new tool that I figured out that I've had for years, but I finally figured we'll try to use it on this. So enjoy watching the process. I'll come chime in a couple more times, and I'll chime in live a couple times too. First piece is cooled off. I'm gonna be sweating even more. Oh, it's good. You can't beat that. It's been a couple weeks since I've had any because I ran out. I may eat a lot more as I'm cooking. I'm gonna just be sweating like crazy. Yes, it's spicy stuff, but that's pretty much all I ate throughout that day. I just kept snacking on the jerky as I was cooking it. I did eat one other thing, and you can see that ends up being the sponsor of this video. But mostly I was just snacking on those jerky all day. And I did a lot of snacking. Not quite as much as I probably could have. But I've eaten a bunch of it since then too. I've probably had a couple pounds of it since then. And we've given away a couple pounds. Alright, about now is when the oven bottleneck starts happening because we've got full things of spiced stuff, spiced soy kernels. Got plates, trays waiting to go into the oven. Got stuff ready to go, but the oven is the bottleneck because you can only do 2 sheets at a time, and each one takes at least 30 minutes. So from here on out, it's just making more of this, making more of these, just continuing on the process. Every 30 minutes, get a new set in the oven. So you'll see as I go, I tend to get bigger and bigger piles on the sheets because I get more impatient. I think it makes it harder to get them all the way dried out. That first one I did wasn't even dried out because it didn't seal right. There's too much liquid in there. It gets in between the seal. So I'm gonna have to heat those ones up some more. I'm probably gonna get out the dehydrator and get that going too, but we'll see. I think I'm gonna probably do that. Might take a little bit longer with the dehydrator because the oven goes to 225. I think the dehydrator only goes to 155. But 155 is better than whatever it is in here. 76. And if you're getting a dehydrator, I suggest Excalibur, but it doesn't. I guess the brand name doesn't matter so much as long as it's thick plastic or metal and it has a fan on it. You want one with the fan. You don't want to just get the little round one with just a heating element. It doesn't dehydrate very well. Get the one with the fan. Yes, I bought one of those little cheap cheesy dehydrators originally, and it did not work out very well. I think the case of it even melted with the little heating element that was in there. So spend a little bit extra, get a good dehydrator for whatever you plan on dehydrating. Maybe some vegan jerky. Alright, for the last years, I've been calling this, how many years? I don't know, 5 years? I've been calling this Wallace Vegan Jerky. It's so spicy, it makes me sweat. Everybody who tries it loves it. Unless you tell them it's vegan first, then they pretend they don't love it. Or they have some kind of defense mechanism in their brain that makes them think they are not going to love it and that they don't love it. But if you give it to somebody, they say, oh, that's the best jerky I ever had. And then you tell them it's vegan, they're like, oh, well, I knew something tasted funny about that. But if you got a better name than Wallace Vegan Jerky, let me know in the comments down below, or if you're watching it on your TV, I guess, log into your computer or your phone on it and put a comment in there. I always watch YouTube on my TV. I hate the little bitty screen. I'm not the little screen person. Better name than Wallace Vegan Jerky? Surely there's gotta be one. Because Wallace Vegan Jerky doesn't even imply the spiciness level of it. You can see my face is sweating like crazy just from, what have I eaten, 4 or 5 pieces? James ate a whole giant bag of it. He said said it was rough. It totally did work to speed up the process. Like I said, if I would have done this the old school way with just the one oven, it would have took 2 full days. It would have been at least 17 hours of cook time in the oven, and I finished the whole thing in 12 hours. So there's no way I could have done it without that dehydrator in such a short time. It's always taken me 2 days before. It was the first time I was ever able to do it in 1 day straight, back to back. Another tip when you're doing this, try not to touch your face, because I feel like I got like chemical burns on a few spots on my face. Mostly from this guy. You can tell he touched his face too. Isn't that always the story though? You always end up touching your face when you're cutting up spicy stuff. Every time you chop up some jalapenos or some spicy chilies, your face is just gonna get itchy. I think it's a natural reaction to chopping some spicy stuff up or touching some capsaicin juice, some oil. Makes your face itchy, especially your eyes. Your eyes get really itchy whenever you have capsaicin oil on your fingers. Maybe that's like a defense mechanism. Interesting fact about capsaicin oil is that birds don't have any taste receptors for capsaicin, so they can't taste the heat. So birds can eat chilies a lot better than mammals can. Because mammals, we got the heat receptor and we can taste the flavor, whereas the birds could eat Carolina Reapers all day and they're just like eating regular food for them. Whereas you get a person eat Carolina Reapers all day and they're going to be a sweaty mess. Here we go, first bag. It's sealed up. Just a little bit of moisture left. That's the perfect. This thing might have solved the, or at least put a dent in the bottleneck. I guess you can't put a dent in the bottleneck. Widened the bottleneck, I guess. We'll call this the Excalibur, the bottleneck widener. Yes, I already said that, man. The dehydrator fixed the bottleneck problem. I think most of the rest of this video, I'm probably not gonna do the voiceover through the whole thing. I'll put a couple little songs in here. Maybe I'll come back a couple times with the voiceovers. I was watching YouTubes while I was making this stuff, and one of the YouTubes I was watching was the Samson Boat Company, where they're refixing Tally-Ho. I guess Leo, the boat builder and sailor, bought Tally-Ho a few years ago for $1. He's been fixing it up ever since, and while I was watching this, they released the one where they finally launched the boat into the water. And that'll come up here in a minute, my moment with that. Alright, the phone went out of battery for a minute and shut off. I'm not sure when it shut off. We'll find out when we're editing. Missed a little bit, but get to see the rest. Okay, at this point in the cook, I kept watching the show to see when they're gonna launch Tally-Ho. And I'm noticing it, and then I kind of heard Leo say, grab yourself a bottle of something, we're about to launch the boat, because nobody could be there in person because of the rules of the shipyard. So I grabbed myself a bottle of something, and I was prepared as they were launching the boat. I could hear it in the background. You can see I'm like laser focused on cooking this stuff. But I'm also secondarily laser focused on watching the Tally-Ho be launched, or preparing to be launched. And here's a little clip of Leo's channel where they're getting ready to launch the boat.
Thank you to our amazing crew, the lot of them are right here. A lot more about. A lot of them have been and gone and can't be here right now. I want to give them a huge round of applause. Thank you. And I just want to dedicate this launch to Darlene, who we all wish could have been in. Darlene.
They're putting tally-ho in the water on the YouTube, so he said to get a nice bottle of something to crack, so I'm cracking this bottle of agave nectar. Woo, tally-ho! That was my tally-ho moment. One day in the future, I'll build my own boat, and I can have my own launching moment. I'll get a more expensive bottle of, what is that I had? Agave nectar. A nice dark agave nectar. I'll get a nice dark bottle of it. Maybe a single malt, a single plant agave vector bottle, like a $20 bottle of it, and just drink that when I launch my barrel boat, whenever that is, 10 years from now or whatever. I'll probably have some vegan jerky there too. Maybe I'll dip the vegan jerky in the agave nectar. That's going to be great. Alright, well, the rest of the time is going to be music and watching the process and watching me get more and more tired as I go through this super long day of cooking this stuff. And then a couple minutes at the end, I'll kind of talk about the cost and the breakdown of what it would be to buy this stuff if you just bought it. Not that you can buy Wallace Vegan Jerky anywhere, but a similar product. Okay, today's video is sponsored by Shin Ramen. Super spicy, picante, Shin Ramen noodles. These are my favorite. I eat one every single day. So don't think I'm just being sponsored by these guys because because I'm trying to make money. I really do like the product. Especially when you've been working really hard, like a 12-hour day, cooking up some spicy jerky, and you're just sweating from all the work and sweating from eating tons of jerky. It's nice to cool down and sweat a little bit differently from the Shin Ramen super spicy noodles. So we're just about done. I got everything cleaned up, putting the last couple bags of bits in their vacuum seal bags, and got the place kind of cleaned up. I did a deep clean on it the next day because it just smells like a giant jerky processing plant in there that day after doing that. So I spent some time cleaning that up. Hey, it's the last two. It took all day, but I finished the whole thing in one day. It's never been done before. The whole entire thing in one day, thanks to the bottleneck expansion tool that I figured out. I don't know how I did not think of that before. I had this thing forever. But finished it all in one day. It was a super long day of work. Alright, I got the scale out. We're gonna weigh how much mass we got from all this. What is it? I don't even know how big that box is. 12-pound box of soy curls. 12-pound box of soy curls. We can see how much it made with 2 gallons, a gallon I guess, of Worcestershire and liquid aminos, and a gallon of other stuff. I guess 2 gallons of liquid, and I don't know how much spices, maybe a pound of spices. Alright, let's see. Let's see. One E.
You have to set it first. You want to step on it and then you just set it on.
You have to step on it first.
Step on it first and let it set it.
Okay. And it goes to 0. And then we put the thing on there. 27 pounds, 2 ounces. Or 27.2. Yes, that's what it said before. 27 pounds of jerky. Alright, here's the breakdown. Online or in the store, it costs about $2.28 per ounce to buy this vegan jerky. My version is way cheaper than that. It would cost $992, about $1,000 worth for what I made, and it cost me about $200 to make it.